Hello?
Package for Mr. Metcalf.
Oh, yes, I'm Mr. Metcalf.
Sign here, please.
Thank you very much. There you go, sir.
See you later, mate.
Goodbye, my good man. Posty's bin?
What's he bought us? And who's it from?
Well, it looks like a very, very big parcel from Andy Pullastides and Howard Sambrook.
Shall we open it?
Oh, yes, let's. Well, what do we have here? It appears to be a manual.
What does it say?
It says it's the instructions for building an interrositor.
An interrositor?
Yes, that's what it says.
Does it tell us how to put the thing together?
Yes, it's called the manual, you cock. Shall we put it together now?
I think that's what I just said. Shall we?
Yes.
Then let's do it.
Well, it's taken us 6 months, but we finally put it together.
Shall we switch it on?
Oh, yes, let's.
Hi, this is Ron Jeremy. You're listening to Porno Sonic.
Well, it appears to be an instructional video about plumbing.
Yes, it looks like he's about to unblock her flue.
Really know how to fill my nurse hole.
So, Darren, when are we going to find out the secrets of the universe?
Bang that fucking out.
In a minute.
Hello, and welcome to the Blackdog number 105.
105.
Which we shall call Big Foreheads from Metaluna.
Slap that.
Slap heads.
Hit
T-foul.
it.
We should just call it
T-foul.
T-foul. There you go. The men from T-foul. Ah, dear. Sorry about the intro. Is that okay? Do I apologise now, or is it too late now? Everyone's
I'm
been
going
arrested.
off to get my shots right now after that. I
Scrub
think I
yourself
need them.
clean.
Yep.
Silkwood style.
God, yes.
Standing in a shower with
High-powered
carbolic.
hose and a bar of soap. There you are. That was a party right there, eh?
Yeah, exactly. I'm Lee, and Darren's drinking.
And I'm Darren. Fuck me, this tea's hot. Oh, I'm going to put some water in it. There we go.
Yeah, and this week, I can't believe you're putting water in tea. You
Just
puff.
to cool it down.
What
that's
kind of
all.
man are you? Jesus Christ. Anyway, this week we will have a little bit of news. We'll have a Jim Moon profanisaurus, and then we'll get straight into This Island Earth for... Now, it's unsure. Rose-tinted specs or shit-covered goggles?
I would say it's a rose-tinted specs because,
Right.
I mean, I suppose it's viewed as a classic.
Okay, because I viewed it as a shit-covered goggles because it featured in Mystery Science Theatre.
Oh, you see, but you've got to give it your own opinion. You can't let a program make up that opinion for you. So.
No, but I'm just whether or not everyone considered it shit, that was all. Anyway, right. So, I can't reach my tea, so I'm going to go get my tea.
You go get your tea.
Oh, look. Okay, I'll tell you what.
Don't do that.
Instead of me killing myself trying to get my tea, Darren, how was your week?
How was my week?
Yes.
My week was actually pretty good. You all right there?
No, ow.
You nearly nutted the TARDIS there.
Ow, Jesus. No, ow. There, go.
Okay.
Carry on.
yeah, so-
Darren, how was your week?
That was my week. Yes, yeah, pretty good.
Yeah.
Went to see a new film this weekend.
Yes.
I went to see John Carter from Mars.
Well, you're not supposed to say
John
from
Carter
Mars.
of Mars.
Or of Mars. You're not supposed to say it.
It's just John Carter, is it?
Yeah, all the press releases, you can't mention it.
Oh,
There's an embargo on saying of Mars.
why is that?
Because they focus grouped it and said that they discovered from the focus group that if you put of Mars, it would tell everyone that it's science fiction and they wouldn't go. Not fans of science fiction wouldn't go.
Right, so obviously people have just heard the title and think, oh, I'll go and see it anyway. Not, wishing to look at any sort of like plot lines or anything like that to do with the story, to find out what the
Apparently.
film's actually about.
Yeah, apparently that's the whole thing. Focus groups.
Jesus H. Christ.
So,
Okay,
yeah, go
well,
on, carry on.
Anyway, yes. So, this is a film that hasn't exactly sparked the imagination in its build-up
Not really.
so
no.
far.
No.
But owing to a review by Mr. Dave King,
Dave King.
he of
Yes.
Volder,
Yes. Voldemort.
Voldemort, yes, he who shall not be named. He said he gave it a good review. He said it was a good adventure, and it will bring out the the little
solid
kid in
action,
you there,
yeah,
and
yeah.
you'll really enjoy it. So I thought, fine, I'll give it a go. Sounds all right.
Are we still friends with Dave now?
We're still friends with Dave. Yes, we are. No, because I went to see it, and I have to say I actually enjoyed it.
Right.
Okay, the story itself is nothing original, but then again, given the fact that it was written, God knows how many years ago, that story
well, it's
probably
Edgar
was
Rice-
original back then.
It was Edgar Rice Burroughs, and half of the
Indeed.
stuff that we've ever seen has kind of been spun off it.
Yeah, so it gets a pass on that one as far
Okay,
as I'm
yeah.
concerned. I think it's more important is how it makes you feel, and I really sat and enjoyed it. I thought it was a good little romp,
Right.
and there were some nice little touches in it, like when John Carter first turns up on Mars. I won't
Yeah.
say how he gets there, but there is
I know
there is
how
an
he gets
explanation. But some people might not though.
Well, it's
But,
in the books.
When but some people may have not read this. You see, so
They're
anyway,
100 years old, you illiterate fools. Read the books.
when he wakes up on Mars, okay, he doesn't realise where he is. There's a
Yeah.
nice little sequence of him getting used to the low gravity, and every time he walks, he's like flying about, 2 or 3 steps and then falling flat on his arse. So
Yeah.
there's this 5-minute sequence of him trying to learn to walk, which is quite good. So nice little touches in it
Lovely.
like that. Of course, he gains this jumping ability because his physiology is so different from everyone else's, and he's not
Yeah.
used to the gravity. So it's kind of like Superman.
However, it does sound like a shitty superhero. His power is to jump.
He's also got super strength. Well, kind of. His strength is enhanced because of the light gravity or the gravity itself. So he's things like breaking rocks with chains and throwing them at things. And what have you.
Big white monkeys.
Yeah, it's a beautiful movie to look at. I've
Yeah.
got to say, they really did well on the whole effects.
Our friend, my friend Reese Slocum, who works for Double Neg, worked on it.
Well, they did a really good job, especially on the Thals.
Yeah.
As well. The Thals were really, really good. They really well acted by the voice actors as well. The lip syncing was superb
Yeah.
on these characters.
Yeah.
Loved them.
I must have been working on it for about 2-3 years, I think. They've been working on
Yeah.
that.
So yeah,
So anyway, good fun, yeah?
I recommend it. Yeah, especially take the kids to go and see it.
Well, I was planning on taking Katie to see it at some point.
I think she'd like it. There's nothing. The only bit, if she's like of a sort of like a disposition where she gets scared of big monsters, then the arena scene might scare her just a little bit.
She doesn't get scared by big monsters. She gets upset by sad things.
By sad things.
So if there's a sad scene, then that will ruin the film for her, basically, which means it's almost impossible to take her to see a film. However, if she sees something big, scary and slathering, she's all over that.
Oh, she'll love the arena scene then. In fact, I think she'll really, really enjoy it. It's got some nice little bits of humour in it. I didn't think they were overdone at all.
How do you find some of the wackier sci-fi elements? Because I've heard that's the biggest criticism, that some of it's a bit too.
I just went along with it. It's just like a totally alien world. That's it. It's of course you do have people on it who actually look like human beings. So who are slightly red, yes. But to tell the truth, I laid eyes on the princess, and it was kind of like I forgot all that anyway. It was because she's not exactly hard on the eye.
No,
the girl who plays the princess.
No.
So Dave was right about that in his review as well. So
nice.
Yeah, if I've got one criticism about the princess, it's her acting. I don't know if she's an American actress trying to do an English accent. But she's really forceful, and she talks a bit like this, as if she's enunciating every single word.
Oh, does that mean she's one of those Thermians from Galaxy Quest?
I think so.
We have come, you are our last hope.
You are John Carter. I'm wearing my best bra for you. Yes.
As you spring into the air, do not look up my pants.
Anyway. No, she is. She's just lovely to look at.
Right.
So yeah, I thought it's a good film. Good, go see it on a Saturday afternoon. I don't think you'll be disappointed. Just go with it.
Okay, that's cool.
So yeah,
pretty
thumbs up. It was a lot, but it turned out a lot better than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, well, like I say, I'm kind of intrigued to see it, but because I'm starting to get the opinion that anything with a really, really solid trailer is something that might be worth avoiding.
I wouldn't say the trailer to John Carter.
No, exactly.
For me,
and the trailer for John Carter was fairly meh. Speaking of trailers, the fucking Battleship trailer that went up on the Facebook group.
Yes,
that's just bonkers.
It looks a bit mental, but
it's bonkers.
Do you know what? Wouldn't it be funny if it was this year's X-Men First Class?
I think so. I mean, I did say it tentatively on the Facebook group, didn't I? I said it once already.
We'll have all these like really cool sounding films, like fucking the Avengers. Who I'll tell you what, it's official now. I've seen the trailer for the Avengers at the cinema, and it's got Avengers Assemble.
Yeah.
There's always one bit about that trailer though that does make me laugh.
What's that?
And that's the bit where you've got at the end of the trailer, just before Iron Man shows up and goes, I'm bringing the party to you guys. You see all the Avengers assemble in the middle of the street. You've got the Hulk who's go, You've got Hawkeye that pulls out the bow and strings it and stands there, and then you've got Iron Man landing in the background, and you've got Thor wielding his hammer, and then you've got Scarlett Johansson there with the pea shooter loading it up, and it's like, why are you bothering?
Yeah, why are you even here?
Exactly. Just at least have a rocket launcher, Just have a rocket launcher. That's it.
Yes, distract them with your breasts.
Yes,
Scarlet.
there we go.
Yes,
wobble,
exactly,
wobble, wobble. Yes, so...
Cool.
Anything else? Oh, I've started watching Ashes to Ashes with Laura, which is the sequel. No, this is it. They've started playing it on catch-up. Now,
Okay.
I've avoided that series because I thought maybe it was a bit of a cheap spin-off.
No,
but actually, no, it's actually a really
very
good show.
Good. Yeah, in fact, I liked it more than Life on Mars. In fact,
I must admit, Genie is even better in this one.
Yeah, they've finally realised that he was the popular character, and so focus more on him.
And it's the music as well. I love the 80s soundtrack in that. Fantastic.
Yeah, that sort of late 70s, early 80s stuff.
Yes.
Yes, very good.
Excellent
very
stuff.
Good.
Excellent. So anyway, Lee, what about your weekend?
My weekend. Well, essentially,
or your week.
Well, my weekend was pretty much one thing: Mass Effect.
Oh, I think. Well, I can't say that about mine. Oh, I had the little party at the end of the week for me little nephew, so I had to miss out on even more playtime. But it was worth it. I got to wave a little pirate sword around. So
well, that's good. I, on the other hand, was defeating the Reapers. Some Lovecraftian bastards from beyond space. But no, I basically, it sounds really pathetic, but basically I decided, I am going to play this game. I've been waiting 5 years for this thing to finish and wrap up in a story I'm invested in. And so I said to Carol about 3 months ago, I said, when this game comes out, I'm going to play it. And I'm going to play it and play it and play it and play it and play it until I'm fucking sick.
Did you say to her, I want you to take 6 pages of the diary and I just want you to put Mass Effect on every single day?
Much. Well, pretty much. And bless her, she turned around and she went, right, fine. And she organised play dates, things to do, all these things for her and the kids to do for the entire weekend. And she left at 8 o'clock on Saturday morning, and I didn't see anyone again till 6 o'clock on Sunday night.
Did they actually come home? You just didn't notice them?
They did come home. They did come home, but they came home, and I had my 20-minute break, said hello, caught up. We had a little sit around, chat, had some dinner. They all went to bed. Carol sort of sat there, read her book, and then it was like, right, I'm back in the game. And I did it, and I fucking caned that game for about 30 hours straight.
Fucking hellfire.
And it's fucking awesome.
It is, isn't it?
It is. The best description of it is Jen Williams, who was on our Mass Effect cast a couple of weeks back, actually said, and I agree, if it was a person, I'd lick its face.
Oh, I think I can agree with that. I think we'd be queuing up to lick its face.
It's amazing. It's astounding.
I'd be paying it to lick its face, actually.
It's brilliant. It's brilliant. But I'm not going to rant on about Mass Effect, I promise. But anyway, in the meantime, I've been a sort of victim of my own success at work.
Oh, really?
Yeah, well, it turns out that since I've been able to do things which IT can't do, i.e. fix computers, or do things like, which some other producers can't do, which is actually think for myself and produce scripts off the back of it. And, because I can obviously juggle 17 plates in the air at the same time, I've just had an endless stream of work just come at me. And it's got to the point now where literally I sit down, the phone rings, and it's a completely different problem. A completely different job that I'm not involved in, and people are asking me about it. And it's like, I feel like, hey, that's cool. But on the other side, I've now taken to having a poster printed up that's on my desk. And it actually says, the fuck I gave went that way. And it's got a picture of a man in a top hat with his fingers pointed out. And it's like, just fuck off. Everyone, just fuck off. And then on top of that, going back to last week's fart in a lift. Yeah. Fart in a lift. I got stuck in a lift. One of the lifts got stuck. And I knew the whole fart in the lift thing. And I had it going through my head. I was only in the lift for about 5 minutes. It's just one of those kind of.
That's all it takes, man. That's all it takes.
And I sat there, so worried that I was going to fart. And I stood there. I must have walked out. I didn't fart, but
because you feel the gases.
It's one of those things when you think about not doing it.
Yep.
Suddenly you want to do it, and you're like, oh my god, I'm gonna fart in this lift. I know everything's going through my head. So anyway, I got out of the lift and I walked away, and then I went all the way down the corridor.
What would have been funnier is if you said, well, I got in this lift, I didn't notice the bloke standing behind me, and the lift got stuck, and then I had this worrying feeling that I should look round, and when I did, it was John Goodman.
No.
Just me in a lift.
Me and
him in a lift for an hour.
Yeah, farting.
No, just the most uncomfortable.
Oh, no.
And he says, don't I know you?
Yeah. You said you loved me. Anyway.
Well, I've got some news for you.
Yes. Well, hello. Oh, fuck me in my asshole. Anyway, apart from that, we had this turn up, which I'm waving at you now.
I was going to say, you're going to have to describe what it is, because this isn't a video podcast.
A while back, I obviously put out on the Facebook group that we need to get some new kit, and and we do. These microphones are like USB microphones. They're shit, and I'm sure that you guys can probably hear a very faint sort of running through them. Right, I try and reduce that as much as I can. Apologies if you can still hear it. But anyway, so a while back, I posted up on the Facebook group. Well, actually, I didn't mean to post up on the Facebook group, but what eventually happened was I was sorting out a wish list on Amazon of things I needed to get, because I kind of figured that if I do that, then every now and again I come back and I see the prices kind of drop, and then I go, oh, I'll get that, and I'll get that, and I'll get that. And I kind of inadvertently posted it to Facebook and stuck it on the group. Anyway, Howard Sandbrook and Andy Puttastides, which is the reason why they're in the intro this week.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they've kind of been starting to be a bit devious Lots of umming and ahhing and stuff going backwards and forwards on Facebook, and I saw it, and then all of a sudden they started talking in sort of like that thing about the thing we were talking about, that thing. Well, we're gonna get that thing, and it's gonna be smiles all round and wink, wink, wink. And I'm like, and I suddenly thought, what the fuck are they talking about? Then all of a sudden I got an email back saying, has it arrived yet? And
arrived?
Well, this is the first of many things that is going to arrive, which is essentially this microphone, this rather excellent-looking microphone, which is the Howard Sandbrook Memorial microphone Mark
memorial
II.
thing.
But no, but this is a proper XLR, proper
very
whizzy
nice.
bang job stuff, and it looks very nice. And I can't wait to try it out with, once I get the other bits of kit. Now, on that note, I think there is another bit of kit coming from these two devious scamps, because I've been told to watch out for something materialising around about May.
Do you know what? If this is going to be like little bits at a time, this is going to be like one of those week-by-week magazines.
Exactly.
You can build up a recording studio.
Yeah. DeGostini's Howard Sandbrook, Andy Pulistides recording studio. Yeah. So anyway, I'd just like to say thank you guys for
very much
this microphone, which is going to be the vanguard of something else, I'm sure, which should be arriving in May. And for that, I will thank you when it arrives. It's very generous of you, and it's really cool to feel appreciated enough to people randomly buy you microphones.
Off the street.
Off the street. The amount of people who've come in off the street and just said, "Here, have a microphone." Fucking microphones hanging off me,
sticking out my coat, everything.
I'm like the early '90s Beastie Boys with the old Mercedes badges. I've just got microphones hanging off my neck. The other thing I forgot to mention last week was, the intro we did.
Yeah.
The Johnny Cash.
Yeah.
Well, obviously that was inspired by Mr. Michael G. Cock.
Oh, yeah, we
didn't say thank you to him because he mentioned it on the Facebook group, and we just nicked it and didn't say thanks. So, thanks.
Yeah, thanks.
And you know what? I'm going to throw this out here. I'm going to throw this right out here. Darren doesn't know what I'm going to talk. Basically, if you think you have a nice idea for an intro, you don't have to. But if you do have a nice idea for an intro, throw it on the Facebook wall. If we got time to kick it off and do it, or if it's a really cool idea based on whatever film we're watching, we might give it a go. We might not. I mean, obviously, time constraints turn around and we look at the old intros and go, you know what, put that on.
Yeah, don't make it anything epic like Ben-Hur style,
But
because getting the chariots in here, running around your front room, you get all shit everywhere.
It's not easy. It's not easy, and let's be honest, Charlton Heston's not the happiest man in the world, is he?
I think is he dead now?
Isn't he?
He is.
Oh, I thought he was outside, sort of where the rest of the zombies from Omega Man. Anyway, but no. So
I'm looking that up now on IMDb to see.
You're going to look and see if he's still alive.
I'm pretty sure he's popped him.
Well, while you're doing that, yeah. So basically, if you want, you don't have to. It's not a compulsory thing. But if we pick a film and you guys and one of you suddenly thinks, you know what would be really cool if you did this, then by all means throw it up. Because it might be a sort of ongoing thing. Sort of make a listener's intro. Yes, Darren's still chugging away on Charlton Heston.
Here we go, Charlton Heston.
Chugging on Chalk.
There we go, April the 5th, 2008. You popped him.
I hope you get better soon, Chuck.
Yeah, but is he going to get better?
I don't know. I hope so. Anyway, so apart from that, work's been shit, been overworked, played Mass Effect, gone square-eyed, got head looks like I've stuck my fingers in the plug socket, and
get your ear cut.
Get my ear cut, hippie. Oh, and and we arranged your stag do, or at least when it's going to be.
We're there now. We're coming. We're kind of getting there with that.
Yeah, I know it's gonna be good.
I'm sure it is.
Yes. The lady from the intro's turning up.
Is she?
Yeah. Anyway.
Well, she's going to ask me to fill her nurse hole.
You don't want to know what she's going to do with that thermometer, mate. Right, okay. Anyway, I suppose we better go on and do some news.
Hey, we're gonna hear some news now.
Right, okay, so we got a bit of news as ever. Lots of something really funny appeared as news after we wrapped up last week's cast, which was the picture of Johnny Depp as Tonto.
Or as he shall be known from now on, the Crowman from Werzil Gummage.
You know what the funniest thing was? That picture I did on the Facebook group, which had the crow, him sort of dreaming of the conservatory.
Yeah.
I actually was thinking of putting a speech bubble coming off the crow going, what the fuck have I got on my feet? Because if you look at that picture, the crow looks more embarrassed than Johnny Depp.
Help me, I've got a Johnny Depp growing out of my arse.
What the fuck have I got stuck on my toes? What do you think of that picture? I mean, really, what do you think of Johnny Depp?
Why do we need to have Tonto with all this fucking shit on his head? It's just... Whatever happened to just, like, you know, the original look of the character? Nice and simple. Fine, if you need to give him all this mystical bollocks to go with it, do it. But don't make him look like something from a Lady Gaga video. It's just... He looks
like he was making... putting on too much makeup and then he pissed with rain, or he started crying at a party or something.
Exactly.
Are you looking forward to the Lone Ranger movie?
Well, I kind of was,
really?
But I'm
not anymore.
No.
Nah.
No, I think I was kind of looking forward to it a few years ago, and
really?
It's yeah.
Is there any room in the universe for a Lone Ranger movie now? I mean,
well, it depends on what they do with it, really. I mean,
well, then if they make it like a dark sort of Unforgiven style sort of cowboy film,
that would be great.
Well, then but it wouldn't be the Lone Ranger. You have to have some Camp Roy Rogers with a plastic mask doesn't fit, going hi ho silver away.
As long as he's bringing justice to the Wild West, then that's all that should really matter.
Any of them. That's not the Lone Ranger. I think the Lone Ranger's a character sort of like just on par with the Milky Bar Kid. He don't give a shit. Stop kicking the bloody stand.
I shall now move the stand. I'm officially moving the stand, placing it out of my range. There we go.
I think we're done. I think we're done with the Lone Ranger. But the other thing was, RoboCop, the remake, has got a release date and a director.
You can't say RoboCop the reboot, because that would just be too much of a pun, wouldn't it?
Yes.
Really, when you think about it.
Yeah.
Have you tried switching him off and on again?
Yeah, I think we might need to reinstall.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so apparently Jose Padilla's rebooted RoboCop will be debuting in theaters August 9th, 2013. There you go. And The Killing's Joel Kinnaman is actually playing Murphy. Have you seen The Killing?
No.
Okay.
I suppose it depends on which version of The Killing you're talking about.
It's the American version. The American version. It's basically the lead character's partner. But you can look him up on the internet. You can see that he would make a fairly good Murphy once he's got the mask on.
But it does depend on what they're going to make RoboCop actually look like, doesn't it?
Well, that's true, yeah. I mean, basically, the only reason to get really quite into this reboot is the fact that the guy, Padilla, the director, has made an action film called Elite Squad, which everyone's kind of going a bit bananas about at South by Southwest.
Are they?
Yeah, apparently. Everyone who's seen Elite Squad has seemingly enjoyed it, according to Chud.com.
Do we know what Elite Squad is about?
Not a clue. Not the fucking clue. But I guess it's a squad which are quite good at something.
Yeah, they're sort of like the tippy-toppy of their squadish thing that they do.
Yes, maybe.
Maybe.
Or maybe they just like playing David Bell's and Ian Braben's...
I think it's...
David Braben's and Ian Bell's Space Simulator from 1987. I don't know.
I think it's all about being elite at cross-stitch and cake baking.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Bang on, Commander. It's like...
Duck, he's throwing a rock cake.
Yeah. So there's that. The next piece of news, obviously you haven't got much to say about that, I guess.
What's that? What? No. See, I forgot about it already.
RoboCop, you fool. What the fuck?
Oblivion, come take me.
The next piece of news, which is, well, I mean, obviously there's Javier Bardem's a picture of Javier Bardem's Bond baddie dressed up as a policeman.
Evening all.
Evening. looking basically like the campest policeman with a monkey face known to man. I don't know what else to say about that picture. It's just really weird.
Don't fuck with him because it will come after you with that fucking bolt blowing thing that he had in bloody...
or he'll flick
No Country for Old Men.
Yeah, and then he'll just drive his car into a lamppost and that'll be the end of that. But the other thing, which I'm just going to read you the opening line from Devon Faraci's article, which is on Badass Digest, for the last piece of news, which is, what the fuck? Garbage Pail Kids being remade. Only the heat death of the universe can save us now. Apparently Garbage Pail Kids, the antithesis of Cabbage Patch Kids, is on its way. He actually says, I'm just going to maybe quote him verbatim because it's better. Basically, Garbage Pail Kids is a terrible, awful movie, but it isn't one of those properties I look at and go, gosh, it's so bad that it's too bad they fucked up that film because it could have been totally something special. See, because it's based on a trading card series that parodies dolls. Yeah, that's it. Oh, I don't know. It's just, I just run out of steam. I actually looking at the picture and I just think
it's just sucking all
just
the will to live,
life
isn't it?
out of my fucking soul. God, that's the best news we could come up with. I feel like somehow creatively bereft.
We're not even going to go into the Three Stooges trailer.
Fuck that shit. Seriously, fuck that noise. It is just, I have no idea what they're thinking.
Who signed this one off?
I just fucking does my. I don't even know where to begin. It's like, so. Oh, that was the other piece of news. Talking about terribly fucking shit films.
Yeah.
Eddie Murphy's 1,000 Words, which is just
all you
premiered.
had to do was just say Eddie Murphy.
No. Eddie Murphy's 1,000 Words. That's his new film.
Oh, I know what the story is with this one.
I don't know the story, but apparently it got 39 votes from critics around the world at 0% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh, Christ.
And apparently it's now being hailed as one of the worst films of all time.
Oh, which means we'll be reviewing that at some point.
Which means, I think, when the preview screenings come up over here, I think we have to go and see it.
Have you got any medical insurance left? Because you're going to need it for the alcohol poisoning you're going to go through after this.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I just think,
Would you like me to explain what the story is?
Go for it. Yeah, go for it.
Okay.
Yeah, because I've just found some more news.
I don't know. This might be with in anybody else's hand, this might be quite an okay movie.
Go on.
Right. What it is, it's all about this guy. I think he's like a real estate bloke, bloody estate agent or something, and he's keeps lying to people, blah blah blah. And it's discovered that in his garden, suddenly this magic tree grows. Right?
Oh.
And every time he talks, every time he says a word, a leaf drops off of the tree. Right now, stay with me on this one. Okay,
I'm losing the will to live as it is. Go on,
he discovers that
Yeah.
from this mystical Indian, probably the same mystical Indian that Jim Morrison used to see in his fucking visions.
Yeah.
Tells him that when the last leaf falls, he dies, and there's only 1,000 leaves left on the tree, which is where this 1,000 words comes from. So now he's got to choose his words carefully.
So why can't he just write?
Shut up, that's why!
Why can't he use a speak and spell?
Shut up, I've never had to evoke shut up, that's why twice. But I'm doing it.
You might go for a third time here.
I
Why
might
doesn't he use dragon speaking? Why doesn't he
Dragon speaking? Well,
Yeah,
that involves
the
you having to
software.
speak into a microphone and then...
No, because you can get it to actually audio describe your words. You can get it to read your words out.
Maybe it's covered the writing thing as well. I don't know. Shut up, that's why!
So basically, it's a movie where Eddie Murphy has to be quiet.
I'm not trying to fucking defend it. This is the thing. Don't talk to me like I'm trying to defend it.
Fucking, it's so fucking awful just in its premise that I just think
it is.
I think we should go and see it on principle. I think we should have a pubcast.
What What is fucking wrong with you? First of all, you give us the fucking room to watch. Now you actually purposely want to sit in a cinema watching what is obviously going to be the biggest pile of crap you'll ever see. It's probably even going to be worse than The Room. Jesus Christ almighty, my brain is already curdling at the thought.
Well, you know, as
come, sweet slumber, enshroud me in thy purple cloak.
You only know that from the Max Headroom fucking song.
That's right. It's a thing I've lived by.
You got to end it with doesn't even rhyme.
It doesn't even rhyme.
Anyway, I have to say, I feel like Captain Kirk in Star Trek V. I need my pain. You know, I do.
I think you need help. That's what you need.
I think I do. The other piece of news was Bruce Boxleitner. Yeah, Smiling
Bruce
Boxleitner has given an update on the new Tron film.
Another new Tron film. Okay.
Yeah. And he says, I'm not going to try and do his voice.
Get the hell out of my galaxy.
Yeah. The last movie didn't end. It actually started the next movie when it went to black. Yeah, Olive. Check out, hey. Take the Voyager out. But anyway. So he says, and I carry on without the accent. Yes. He says, the film is in the works. Anything can happen, but all I can say is it's in its formative stages. Director Joseph Kosinski, who is slated for it, is shooting another movie at the moment, and once they get round to finishing that, I think somewhere around 2014 maybe. I'm talking way out of school here, but they can't shoot me because I'm Tron. So basically, he's saying they're going to be filming it in 2014, but even though he's going to get into trouble, they can't because they can't fire him because he's Tron. Clearly, he never saw the second film when they took Jeff Bridges' face and wrapped it around an avatar.
Well, what they did was they took Jeff Bridges' face, had it punched from the inside, and then bunged it on Jeff Bridges again.
Got a madman to mould it out of wax.
Yeah,
and then placed it all on a sock. Anyway. Yeah.
It just looked a bit dodgy, the whole, you know...
I think we should stop the news because it's depressing the fuck out of me. Shall we do
Much
Jim
like
Moon's
Profanisaurus? Yes, let's do. Yeah, let's
Jim Moon's Profanisaurus.
Do it.
Biffin's Bridge, or the Barse. Noun, the perineum, that little bit between your balls and your arse. In ladies, Nifkin's Bridge. In Star Wars, the Clone Wars.
Lovely, yes. The Clone Wars is indeed the Biffin's Bridge between Revenge of the Sith and New Hope. Thank you very much for that, Jim. And Jim will return for some more feedback at the end of the show, no doubt. And obviously he's not had any Hypnobobs out this week because he's been cut off from the interwebs until, well, just the other day. But anyway. Right, so, I suppose we better get on.
Yeah, go on in.
For this Island Earth, which tune should I play? The rose tinted specs or the shit cover goggles one? Because I really don't know.
How about we get them both at the top of the stairs and push them down and record the noise it makes on the way down?
Okay. failed experiment. Let's not try that again. Oh dear. Well,
You know, we should really move that grand piano from the bottom of the stairs, because that's a real shit place to keep it. Right there. I mean, somebody could trip over it.
well, someone did.
Well, there you are. Yes.
Anyway, yes, This Island Earth is this week's movie, shit covered or not. And it's directed by a guy called Joseph M. Newman, produced by William Alland, written by Raymond F. Jones, starring Jeff Morrow, Faith Domergue, Rex Reason, and Lance
Reason.
Fuller. The music was by Henry Mancini, uncredited, and Joseph Gershon. And was released by Universal Pictures June 1st, 1955. No idea of how much it cost or how much money it actually made back. The movie doesn't have a lot of information on its production either, to be honest. The film was one of the last films to use the Technicolor process, which is not very useful. And has been criticised a number of times for its numerous scientific errors. Initially, though, the film was praised by many critics, citing special effects, well-written script, and eye-popping colour prints, which were obviously the Technicolor thing. The movie, well, I mean, the movie was used, as I said before, in Mystery Science Theatre 3000, the movie. So you have actually watched Mystery Science Theatre, the movie, as well, if you got on this. There doesn't appear, like I say, there doesn't appear to be any other things apart from homages to it. It was based on a book by Raymond F. Jones, which was first published in the serial comic Thrilling Wonder Stories. But that's about really all I can tell you about that. Not a lot else in this wiki, I'll be honest with you, which kind of sums up how I feel about the movie. However, come on in, Darren, what did you think?
Okay, let's just start off, shall we, and just clarify this. The lead character in it, the man who has got the voice,
Rex Reason,
who plays, is it Carl? His name?
Cal. Yeah.
Okay, Cal is not a scientist. Okay, Cal is a man who gets paid to dick around with things.
Cal Meacham.
Cal Meacham. At the beginning, right? He's stepping inside a jet plane. What does he do with that jet plane? What's one of the major things he does with it? He dive bombs and scares the shit out of his so-called friends.
Well,
he dicks around with the plane.
You're talking about a man who basically is a world-renowned scientist, and yet when he gets hit with a bright green light, asks his mate on the ground, "What bright green light?"
Well,
and then
bright
maybe
green
we
light
don't.
You were sat in, you stupid
fuck. Yeah. Anyway, go on, carry on.
He's the world's oldest frat boy. He just blows things up. He's just like trashing things.
I especially like the fact that when he sort of goes up to that woman, the Dr. Ruth or whatever her name is, Ruth Adams.
Dr. Ruth.
Dr. Ruth. Basically, he goes up to her and he goes, "You remember we were there up on the lake for 3 months and you wouldn't get into the water because, you know," then it's like, "Hey, I remember you." And it's like, she goes, "No." And he goes, "What are you saying?" And he gets really fucking like Klingon on the whole thing. But then later on,
nobody forgets me.
Yes, not me and my muscular shoulders and one arched eyebrow.
And my voice.
Yes, that voice. And then, but then the funniest thing is a little bit later on when she turns around and she says, "I'm sorry, you know, I can't tell anyone that I don't remember you." He goes, "Yeah, well, it doesn't really bother me, sister, but, you know, it's up to you, you know." And it's just like, you fucking bellend. Anyway, go and carry on, Dal. Sorry, I've gone off on one already.
That's all right. It's not a problem. Not a problem at all. I think one of the thing that kind of makes me laugh is that nothing is said about the size of the blokes' heads. Although, right, you know, the aliens. Although Laura said something that made me laugh last night.
Yeah.
Because there's a bit where Cal and like the girl, Rachel, Ruth, are sat in a chair listening to Exeter actually explaining stuff, and Laura's like, "He's not listening to a word he's saying. All fucking Cal, he's in his head, he's going, head, Head, forehead.
Don't say anything about that. Head. Mole.
It's like any minute now, you're just going to see a stick come from out of shot, slowly.
He's going to lunge across the screen and go, spam!
There is this blank expression over his eyes. He's not concentrating at all.
Oh,
so
yeah.
Do you think, like, in order of rank, the head either gets bigger or smaller? Because his mate had an even bigger head than he did.
Oh, what, Brack?
Yeah, Brack, and his mate Brick.
Yeah. Fuck. They both look like very old Robin Williams.
With hair kind of set.
Yeah, like if Robin Williams was made by Jerry Anderson, that's what he would look like. He would
look like that, with the extended head.
Yeah. For piloting Thunderbird 1, with those big fucking foreheads.
I suppose, the head's going to be protected. It's got a lot of padding up there.
Jesus Christ.
Because there obviously were a couple of cushions shoved in there.
Yeah, I loved it when they're on the spaceship and they've got the fucking that sort of like the hair net, the plastic hair net.
Oh mate, does your head go up inside? Oh, it does. Yeah.
Your head go right to the top of that. I'll need to rethink my gag.
Yeah, I think I do.
So go on in anyway, carry on. So what did you actually think of the story?
Well, I suppose it's pretty. Yeah, I don't know. Is it pretty standard sci-fi stuff?
Because I have a question, because I literally watched it as I was walking up the road on the way to tonight.
Yeah.
And I have to ask one fundamental question.
Go on.
What the fuck is it about?
Right, okay, well, it's about... I can tell you what it's about. It's about an alien race.
Yeah.
That comes from...
Because I want to just get this clear in my head that I understood it. Because I do understand what the story is, but I want you to explain it to me.
It's basically about an alien race that are at war with another alien race. And they need atomic energy to keep their shielding going.
They need uranium.
Well, no, they need atomic energy to keep that up. They need uranium to make the fuel. They do. Now, this is the thing, right? It's like, hold on a minute. You've got these spaceships, these fucking flying saucers that can travel great distances.
Through Earth's heat barrier.
Yeah, through. Let's talk about Earth's heat barrier, shall we? Okay. Obviously, it extends for a good few light years. Right, because Earth is like a speck of distance, and then they start going. I'm thinking, heat barrier? What heat? There's a heat barrier in the galaxy, and then they talk about just leaving Earth, and it's like you left Earth about 50 billion miles away. It's like a dot in the background there. How far do you think the fucking atmosphere extends from the planet? It's got to go some way.
Yeah, well, they were out somewhere near Jupiter by the time they left Earth's heat barrier.
Yeah, that's how fast we're going. Anyway, yes, so the story. So, alien race, at war with another alien race, has a barrier that protects it from the meteors that are being chucked at the planet. So it's sort of like, mass driver type stuff.
Yeah, I'm just going to try and close that door. Carry on talking.
Sure. And so they need atomic energy to keep this going. And... of course, you think to yourself, well, if you're so intelligent to make these spaceships, why haven't you thought of this yourself? Why haven't you discovered the thing? But they explain that by saying most of their scientists are dead, so they've got no more scientists left.
Yeah, but then this is my point. This is where I was getting to.
Yes.
Essentially, so they just need uranium.
Well, they need to be able to synthesize it, so. Find a way of synthesizing it so that they don't run out.
So they get all these nuclear scientists together.
Yeah.
Put them in a house.
Yeah.
Tell them they're going to be working on world peace.
I think this was the flaw they did with their own scientists by putting them in one big house.
And then blowing the fucking...
Exactly, having it blown up by a fucking meteor hit, Oh, shit.
But it's like, hang about, right, okay. They get to Metaluna. Possibly the dullest planet in the known galaxy, the planet Dull.
That looks awfully like a just one big painted background.
Yeah. And it's like they say, "Oh, Rex." Rex turns around and he goes. So really, what you want is you've run out of uranium. And Exeter goes, "Yes, we have." So it's like, so you need uranium. So why have you blown up a bunch of scientists and kidnapped 2 scientists? and then taking them to Metaluna to have old Specky McBumface sit there, go, wipe their memories and throw them in the brig.
Well, no. Well, he wanted them under mind control. That's the thing. They did suggest this. He was saying to Exeter, you got to put them through this, and he's like, no, because if we do that, it blocks off certain bits of their brain, so they're not going to be, they're going to be as creative as they would be if you just left them the fuck alone.
What would they be making?
Well, as he said, it's synthesizing uranium from lead. Right, it's turning lead into uranium.
You mean alchemy?
Yeah, alchemy, basically. Apparently,
in the 1950s, he could do that.
Chocolate-covered caramel chew is him and this lady are like the closest they've ever come
to turning lead into gold.
Yes, well, lead into uranium.
Yeah. How precisely do they do that? Using nothing more than the piece of foam that a cat sits on, hanging from a ceiling.
I don't know.
And a 1950s viewfinder.
I don't know. Let's talk about that finder, shall we? Okay, yeah, that fucking deadly weapon.
Yeah.
Right, we have to politely ask the enemy to stand directly in front of it to make it any use.
Please stand back. Stand back.
If you wouldn't mind just standing on that mark on the floor there.
And I shall destroy you. You have fallen into my trap. Oh, you've gone too far away.
Oh, you took a step to the left.
Oh. I mean, it's just... I gotta say... This is quite possibly, room included, the dullest film I have ever watched.
It is possibly, yeah, I think you're right there. It's one of the least inspiring movies to watch, I think, personally.
I mean, and it's not an old film thing. It's not me sitting there going, you know what, it's an old film, I'm bored. Because we've done Forbidden Planet.
Forbidden Planet,
which was
knocks
great,
the fucking shit out of this.
Which came out a year later.
Yep.
And...
obviously they learned their lesson.
Yeah, and then, it's not, we've watched Day the Earth Stood Still and all these other things, and it's like, this film was fucking dull. I mean, truly, truly, awesomely brain-dead dull. There was whole swathes of scenes where things either didn't make sense, nothing happened, or you realised that nothing was happening, and you could skip forward like 20 seconds in lumps. I'm listening to because I was watching it on the iPad, on the train, and I'm thinking, well, I'm getting to the last like 10 minutes of the film because they're landing on Metaluna.
Yeah.
And I thought, okay, right, fine, 10 minutes. I've got 10 minutes, but I've got a 5-minute walk, so I can watch 5 minutes. And I thought, you know what? I know how this plays out. I know I've seen this film so many times before. When I was younger, I can skip forward. And there's a little gesture you can do with your finger, which basically skips the film forward to exactly 10 seconds.
Oh, okay.
So I was sitting there, and they land on Metaluna. And then they go down a lift in Metaluna. Then they go across a courtyard in Metaluna. Then they walk up a corridor in Metaluna. Then they go up another lift in Metaluna. They walk down another corridor in Metaluna.
So we're going to be Spinal Tap.
Eventually, yeah, exactly. Hello, Cleveland.
Like, where the fuck are we?
Yeah, and there's a shoe shine bloke up the end going, no, if you turn left and then right. But I literally got to the point where I was like, you know what? I'm going to skip this 10 seconds. Skip this 10 seconds. If I hear any dialogue, I'm going to flip back. Skip 10 seconds. Skip 10 seconds. It was like nearly 4 fucking minutes before they got to old Blue Meanie in the little room. And then once they do that, then you have the whole scene of them getting back out. It's like, of a 10-minute conclusion of the film, a 20-minute conclusion of the film, 10 minutes is actually wasted in just walking down corridors. And it was like... every single mortal fucking scene was that. And it was like, even that bit when they try and make the escape from the house with another disposable scientist. Yeah. Steve.
Gosh,
Steve. And they all get in the car and they drive off. And then you get old Brack gets a bit handy with his laser. And then it's like they go, I know what we'll do. We'll drive off the road because that'll be a way to stop him.
Oh no! Obviously, the detection system doesn't take into account water because they were perfectly safe.
The airborne laser system, which could land anywhere, obviously would be so much less effective when you're on the grass. I mean, it's just like, but the film. I realised that actually, what happens in this film? What actually happens in this film? Basically, old Rex gets in a plane, flies to his base, fucking sits there, decides instead of doing in-depth research that he'll build a Meccano kit that has randomly turned up on his doorstep because someone's given him a catalogue. Right? He builds it.
Laminated Book of Dreams.
Yes, exactly. He builds it. Some weird guy in a funny forehead says, "Well done, you've built it. And I shall do this," and blows up like a piece of lead. And then what does he do? He pulls the plug out of it, blows it up, and then goes, I'm going to go on that plane. Gets on the plane, goes, meets a load of other scientists, doesn't talk to any of them. Then he leaves. And then he gets kidnapped, taken to Metaluna, told, we're going to wipe your brain, only to have him come back to Earth. So essentially, all he's done is nothing.
No.
Sweet Fanny fucking Adams.
Like I say, just dicks
for
around.
an hour and 3/4. And it's just like... And then you look at the Metalunans, and the whole plot is, we'd like uranium. And we'd like more uranium and some scientists to run our machines. But we've got interstellar travel, laser beams, we can shoot the comets out the sky with our ships.
Yep.
Ooh, well, why, rather than just sit there and wait for all these comets to come and hit your planet, why don't you point the lasers from your spaceship at the comets coming in? You seem to get rid of a lot of them very, very easily.
Yeah.
And it's just like, it's the dumbest, dullest, stupidest, pulpy, boring bollocks I've had the misfortune to watch in a long time. Least with the fucking room. The room was so fucking goddamn awful. You watched it mesmerised, like watching a car crash. That was like, it was like watching two mentally retarded people slapping each other over a potato. Whereas this was just like looking at a piece of, looking at a pot of paint.
That's fucking ridiculous.
You're not content with kicking your post. You're kicking mine now.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, it was boring. This film was so fucking dull.
What did you think was the funniest part of the film?
The funniest part, what apart from the two of them hiding in the lake to avoid a laser beam?
You see, my favourite part is very close to that.
Yeah.
Because it's the German hiker who calls out to them in the lake and he gets fucking totaled by a fucking laser beam.
From a spaceborne laser. From a spaceborne laser. No, then the one that bit
taken out by the Depps star.
No, it was the... I'll tell you the bit that made me laugh was it was just that they... It was just like, you're sitting there watching it and they're going, yes, we have to adapt you to the other atmosphere of Metaluna. And it's like, right, get into these tubes. And then your hands have become magnetized.
Yeah, they're
what
magnets.
What the fuck have you got in your hands if your hands are magnetized? I mean, I know science isn't as advanced in the 50s as it is now, and we can all sneer
but they still
know
knew
how
magnets
fucking
and metal.
magnets worked. Yeah,
magnets and skin. No, magnets
and
and metal.
We also know that alchemy is basically bollocks.
Yep.
So, but the thing is, it's like, so they go to Plan B to steal these two scientists, and what's the Plan B? The Plan B is steal the scientists, blow up the other scientists. Why? Why blow up the other scientists?
Who knows?
Why? Why do that?
Shut up, that's why.
And and on top of that, old fucking Specky McSmurf pants sitting in his fucking big spinny room, yeah, the great Metalunan big head. He's sitting there going, "Oh yeah, what we're going to do is it's going to be a peaceful invasion." Right, so hold on, so you're invading our planet. You are the bitches of the universe, already getting cock-slapped by a bunch of blokes with a rock, and now you want to come to us.
Do you know what? I love that bit when the guy in the chair says, you're like children looking through a magnifying glass. You think you're bigger than you actually are. And he goes, and he comes out with the classic line, "Our race is as big as our God."
Yeah.
And then it's just that slow turn. The alien looks around and goes,
What?
What? It's like, you want to trust in this cunt over here who's going on about God.
Yeah.
And his race being as big as God.
Yeah, we're as big as our God.
He didn't say that, of course.
He did say your race is as big as our God.
Yeah,
And the other thing
no,
is,
but it's the
but
response.
the Metalunan big giant head. His actual thing was, you feel like you're like the children with a magnifying glass looking at a race of ants, thinking that they're bigger than you are. It's like, what? You mean that you're bigger than them?
Oh God! Stop it now!
It's just written by a buffoon. It was just genuinely was the most insanely dull movie ever. It was just not even funny. It wasn't even like it's piss poor. I must admit, I'll throw those 2 fucking tracks down the stairs again.
What did you think?
Come up shit covered. What?
What did you think of Morbo?
Oh, for goodness sake, that was fucking pathetic as well. How that ever became an iconic character is beyond me.
Well,
not because of the special effects, but just what does it do?
It
takes
stumbles around.
It walks 4 feet and gets a ton of rocks on its head. then it turns up at the very end, waves its arms at some tubes, and then basically sits on the ship as it crashes into a lake. I mean, it's not exactly Alien, is it?
It's
not
like a very pathetic Terminator. He kept getting back up again.
But it doesn't.
It just wasn't very good.
It generally wasn't. Its heart clearly wasn't in it, was it?
It's when he beats him to death with a thermos flask. It's like, how comes his hot tea? There we go. I've had this in the fucking aeroplane since we took off. There's some sandwiches over there. Help yourself.
Oh, fucking hell.
How about you?
Tink up.
Oh, fucking hell.
Shit, this is almost lukewarm. Yeah. Oh, it's bollocks. I mean, seriously. I'm sure the design is still iconic to many, and I'm sure someone in the feedback's going to say something, but fuck my old boots. It was the worst thing I've ever seen.
Oh, do you know, I normally love films like this, you know, like the 50s science fiction stuff. I've got a big affection for stuff like you know, Day the Earth Stood Still, what is it, what's the other one, the one about the planet, When Worlds Collide, George Powell stuff, you know, you can see where the sort of like the early days of filming science fiction, that sort of thing. But this just had nothing in it.
No, but nothing actually happens. All that happens is Cal fucking eyebrow goes on a little wander looking for aliens when they're standing there clearly going, "We are aliens, hello." Well, it's just like, yeah, I'm feeling pretty suspicious about those guys. They look like fucking aliens. They all look the fucking same. They've built something which you can't even create with science. That stupid fucking transistor that looks like a cherry on a stick. That they have to, the first thing to do, oh yeah, this is not a capacitor we ordered.
Yeah.
And it's like,
therefore it can't be real.
Yeah. So we'll put it in a machine to feed,
ticking around again.
Yeah.
Right.
To
blowing
feed
more shit up.
to feed 30,000 volts through it and watch it explode. Yeah. And it's like, but hold on, you've just got a machine that's just generated 30,000 volts. So where did you get your 30,000 volts from that's strong enough to blow this thing up? Because apparently it's a miracle of science this thing can hold 30,000 volts. You've got a machine that's just generated it.
Shut up, that's why.
Oh, it's so fucking awful film. It's awful. It's awful because the worst thing about it is in your mind you have an iconic vision of that Metalunan mutant fucking thing, and you think, oh, I remember that being really cool. And then what you see is a sad old stagehand in a big rubber head get bricks land on his face and battered with a thermos.
Do you know what? there's a bit where he falls on the floor just as the girl escapes from the tube. But it's when he's trying to get up. Instead of like using the edge of the claws, it's like you can see where the man's got his hands on the floor in the suit, and it bends the arms midway through. And it just looks a bit shit.
Looks a bit shit. Right, as long as it's just a bit shit. I wouldn't want it to be like completely shit. Oh, let's do some feedback. Our first piece of feedback written is from Steve Murray, who's currently sitting on the other side of the planet. Hello, over there in Oz.
Hello, Stephen.
Hello, Australia. Come in, Australia. And so Steve writes, Steve Wright. Anyway, he writes, "Oh, hi Lee. Hi Darren. How are you? So this is my feedback for this week's film. I am fine. Ha 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 ha. I don't care what she said. I did not hit her. I did not hit her. Oh, hi Danny. Oh, out. Tell me we're so. Out, I say. Leave this body. The power of Christ compels you. The power of Christ compels you." Oh, I'm sorry about that, guys. I didn't know what came over me. So, this Island Earth. I must make a confession here. If I had one cinematic weakness, it's the 40s and 50s American B-movie sci-fi. I adore them. There's certain innocence and naivety to the way that they're filmed, written, and which I find really attractive and watchable. Whether it be the gravitas of Daily Earth Stood Still, the silliness of them, or the paranoia of Invasion of the Body Snatchers, I think this time of sci-fi storytelling is unique and has never really been equalled. Yes, modern films are slicker and more streamlined in the way that they're told and shot, and the aliens are more real in appearance, and are in all ways far superior than what came before. But I can't help but think we've lost something important in this modern age of CGI and green screen. There's human element that has been cast aside for the sharper realistic HD 3D filming. Trollhunter reminded me of this when I watched it. There was and is something to be said about stop motion capture and spaceships are coloured green and held up by a badly hidden wire. You watch Avatar and Battlefield LA, or many of their modern ilk, and they really do appear soulless compared to their forebears. In pretty much every sci-fi movie of this era, the hero, whether he be a nuclear scientist or a teen trying to stop a huge globe of raspberry jelly, was the everyman-styled hero. Many men of the time could relate to the central character and imagine themselves in that role, battling cosmic evil for the sake of the world, or the girl. I can't say I've felt like that myself in any modern age entries, with perhaps the exception of Alien. Who hasn't imagined what they'd do if they found themselves strolling the corridors in the Nostromo? I'd probably shit myself, is what I'd probably do.
Oh, well, first question is, what the fuck am I doing here?
yeah. Hold on, I'm crew member number 8. There was no crew member number 8. This Island Earth does it too in Cal Meacham. He may be a brilliant scientist who flies jet fighters for no apparent reason, and he seems to have stepped out of an Old Spice ad, but he's also the everyman who you'd probably like to have a beer with if you met him in a bar. This is what I think movies of this time did so well. The people in them are us, even if they were groundbreaking thinkers and scientists. We can see ourselves in them, and I think that's something precious from sci-fi making which has been lost to us. We've been so removed from the caricatures of humanity on screen, we really don't give a fuck where the aliens came from, and the aliens come along and butt fuck LA. Godspeed, son. Killed a lot of them. The cast of Jersey Shore first. Right? Too serious? Sorry, guys. In this line comes this Island Earth, with a central hero with a voice so deep his gonads must be somewhere around his ankles. And who even thinks that a group of aliens can blast a hole the size of a small Shetland pony in a lead block that they won't be able to hear him if he talks behind it? Yeah, they can't hear me. I'm hiding behind a shield of lead. A female lead scientist who's seemingly so clueless you wouldn't trust her heating up beans on a gas stove. The professor from Gilligan's Island, and a random German guy who shouldn't really go walking along the road when there's a giant freaking lightning bolt raining down from the sky. Rob Morrow was great in Northern Exposure. Oh, wait, no. Jeff Morrow was great in this shit as the shifty yet sudden hero with a heart of gold alien Exeter. His second in command, who we think is actually going to do something of note before he wanders off never to be seen again. And who can forget Orangey the cat, the positive neutron? By the way, Who names their cat Orangey? I mean, really? Did he call a ginger cat? Get a ginger cat and call it Orangey? Yeah, he's Neutron because he's so positive. Yeah. You know what's really funny?
What?
Neutrons aren't positive.
There you go. Scientific shit.
Yes. That'll be a proton.
Will it?
Yes.
So they'd have to name him like one of those Ford cars.
Anyway.
Proton.
This Island Earth is also a beautiful looking film in texture, particularly in the last piece of the movie when Metaluna is being destroyed by the comets, and inside the spaceship itself has a certain minimalist charm. In other words, it's filmed in a shed. But anyway, sorry. I still like the costumes and the insect-like mute ant, which I think runs close second to Robbie the Robot as a 50s sci-fi icon. In the end, though, I think This Island Earth is a film which didn't really know what it wanted to be. It felt like there were two scripts vying to be made, so someone took the start of one film and the ending of another and spliced the two together to create this film. I did like the film, not as much as many from this period, but I think it still has something to say and still enjoyable watch. Rose-tinted specs? No. But okay, a film of its time nonetheless. So sorry I rambled off the topic, guys, and really sorry to Lee for having to read this out and having to listen. But thanks for read it out. But thanks for listening. Unless Metcalf lost this one too. Have a great cast, guys. Steve, thank you, Steve.
Thanks, Steve.
Yeah, I have to say, I think that the whole iconography is fair enough. You know, there are iconic things. The mute ant looks pretty iconic.
Or mutant.
Mutant. You know, and what's it? Jeff Morrow as Exeter looks the part. The problem is the whole film is so fucking dull and nothing fucking happens in it.
Yeah.
But anyway,
right.
Except for Germans getting shot by the side of the road by red lightning bolts, and that's the other thing, right? If what's it? Oh, Gank or whatever his name is. Gank. I don't know. What is he? He's Brack.
Yeah.
If Brack was supposed to bring the scientists in, why did he immediately start shooting at them?
He likes shooting things. He can't get enough of shooting things. He gets off on shooting things.
He goes off on one, does he?
Yeah.
Nice. The next piece of feedback is from Andy Polistides. So Andy writes. He writes, "Dear Mr. Metcalf and Mr. Barnard, Andy has been unable to do his feedback homework for this week due to accidentally and tragically chopping off his own legs while combing his hair, and totally not being at all spent this week playing Mass Effect non-stop. P.S. He would also like to be excused from PE. Signed, Andy's mum." Well, Mr. Polistides, I will see you in my office first thing in the morning. That's what I'm going to say about that.
I think we can give him a pass on this one because he did send us, him and Howard have sent us rather a nice microphone.
All right then.
And they're giving us presents. So.
Okay, giving us presents, fair enough. Right, okay, so that's the end of the written feedback. This is going to be a nice, quick cast at the end of the day.
Good.
Even though
sleepiness, thanks you.
Yes. So we got 3 pieces of written feedback, and the first one is from a new feedbacker, Chris Johnson, who I am now naming the official Blackdog film archivist.
Yes.
Because it's the second film in a row that he's found it online and stuck it up there on the old Facebook group.
Where does he get these wonderful films?
Okay, so, yes, Blackdog archivist Chris Johnson, here he is, and here's what he has to say.
Hello, Lee and Down, and Blackdoggers. Chris here. And let me just say, what a great film you chose this week. Oh, This Island Earth, one of my favourites. No matter what I wear, shit-covered goggles or road-tinted specs, I just love it. I know that it's old, the effects are fairly shit. The aliens are laughable. Men with big foreheads, white hair and bushy eyebrows. Which all I wanted to do was just slap them, Slap it! I can't say nothing, I would have slap it myself. But I do enjoy them. I like all of them, Day the Earth Stood Still, Forbidden Planet, When Worlds Collide, Plan 9 from Outer Space, Earth vs. the Flying Saucers. Lots of other films of that ilk. I just can't get enough. Even though I don't own a single one of them. I used to have them all on video, but I've never found them again on DVD. I've never really looked. I like watching them from time to time, definitely. I have one complaint about this film though. You know, ladies, they cannot keep on their feet. The big rubbery Martian is coming up behind them, and they just, they scream their heads off, ah, and then fall on the floor. Just kick him in the knackers, love, and run away. That's what was happening in the remake. Oh well, gotta go now. And watch some more shit. See you all. Bye.
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 Okay, thank you very much for that, Chris. I hope that your first piece of feedback is not your last, since we've just basically laid into this movie for the last hour. Well, though, of course, we have already said, and as yourself, Chris, we do like Forbidden Planet. We do like Day the Earth Stood Still. We've done those films, and they both got thumbs up from us. So that's our only "don't hurt us, please keep listening" kind of feedback for that. Anyway, so thank you very much for that, Chris. Hope that we get many more feedbacks from you, sir. So that's good. Next piece of feedback is from Brandy and Dave of the Inside Out cast, available on Geek Planet Online. Salute. And yes, after their storming performance with the room last week, let's hear what they have to say about this island Earth.
Hi guys.
Howdy.
Mutants.
Mutants.
He's a mutant.
He's a mutant. The film This Island Earth was based on the book This Island Earth, written by Raymond Jones, who was born in Salt Lake City, Utah.
Isn't Orson Scott Card from here?
I think originally, yes.
Yeah.
On to the movie. It was actually one of the first to be filmed in Technicolor. One of the first science fiction films, I should say. Actually, it was really praised by critics when it came out.
Well, you gotta think of the period. They didn't really see stuff like that often. I mean, that was kind of a higher budget science fiction than people are used to, because the old serials with the spaceships that would land in a rocking motion.
They just made a lot of numerous scientific mistakes in the movie, like Neutron, the cat. Yep. They say they named him Neutron because he's so positive. Then he should have been called Proton.
Neutrons are neutral. Duh.
That's a no-brainer. Even in 1955.
Yeah.
I think it's really good until they actually get to Metaluna.
Yeah.
And then it just kind of dumbs down.
Let's take this spaceship ride all the way to our home planet to find it getting destroyed.
Well, that was the whole point, is they were trying to gather plutonium in massive quantities, or was it uranium? It's part of their planet's defense. It seems like they're hardly there, and then they're running for their lives. The thing that annoys me is when they're escaping from the planet, and Exeter is giving you a play-by-play of what's happening like we're all a bunch of idiots. But it was 1955.
Do you think Contact is a remake?
No.
They make contact with an alien race, they send you the plans to build this apparatus...
No.
And then you go visit them?
No. I've read the book, and no. No, and no.
What is it, the Interocitor?
Interocitor.
What does the Interocitor do?
See, that's the thing. The Interocitor, apparently you can communicate. Apparently you can shoot laser beams from it and blow up woodies. The car.
It's an early iPhone.
It's actually not the worst movie I've ever seen. I'm most familiar with the shortened version of the film via Mystery Science Theater 3000, the movie. And unfortunately, I've seen that so many times that I now find it hard to separate the original film.
I just remember there's sexism, of course.
Of course.
The guy's driving around like a lunatic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the professor from Gilligan's Island. Woohoo!
Yeah. All those scientists all basically held hostage by the aliens.
And then blown up. The movie, at only 84 minutes, just wasn't prepared to cope with the scope of the book.
No.
And that's why the second half of it is so dumbed down. Because they're just like, hurry, 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 hurry. There's too much. We gotta get to the end. So, there's all this build up to get in there, and then hurry to the planet, and it's gonna blow up, and bye.
Building the Interocitor, and there's taking those plane trips to the aliens.
With no pilot. And no windows, apparently.
Yeah.
It's kind of creepy.
And then the spaceship ride to the planet in their little bong tubes. And then they get there and boom, movie's over.
Yeah, it's kind of odd.
So like I said, just like Contact.
No. You're going by the movie. I've read the book, so shut the fuck up. Shut up, that's why. There is one really funny reference to the movie that's not even a reference unless you've seen the movie 50 million times like I have. In an episode of Wonder Woman in season 2, The Return of Andros. Anyone who's familiar with Wonder Woman TV series will know what I'm talking about. But they use this footage from This Island Earth twice. They use one scene when the spaceship's in space and shooting down these little fighters that are trying to attack it. And they use another of them actually landing on Metaluna, but they superimposed images over it to distort it and make it look, the atmosphere look different, like a different color, and added all these weird squiggly laser things in it. And I'm like, are you trying to fool me? Because I fucking know This Island Earth when I see it. So I just giggled a lot during that episode because I'm like, you're so cheap that you can't even film your own footage for that. You got to borrow it from a movie from 20 years prior?
Hey,
really?
That's how it stayed on the air as long as it did.
Oh boy, it was bad.
As bad as the film?
I wouldn't really say the film is that bad. For its time, it was pretty forward thinking. It hurried too fast.
Guilty pleasure?
Guilty pleasure.
All right, that's cool.
Especially the MSD 3K version.
Yeah. So.
And the sad thing is they didn't edit that much out of it.
No.
So there's our thoughts on This Island Earth.
Yep.
One thing to leave you with, though. Normal view, normal view, normal view, normal view.
Bye.
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 What was the normal
idea.
view thing?
Normal view.
Okay. Well, thank you very
Answers on a
much.
postcard, please.
To the Black Dog podcast. Okay, thank you very much. Is it a guilty pleasure? Do you think this film? I mean, really? I mean, I know they got those guys. Well, Brandy certainly thought so. I have to say, I thought it was very interesting, Dave thinking it's like Contact. And I have to say, I actually agree with him. Because basically, what happens? A scientist sits around.
Hold on. There's another film it's like as well.
What?
Species.
Well, no, because that's a bunch of scientists running around stating the fucking obvious.
Yeah, but they have to download or they have to create a transmitter or build something to decipher the DNA code.
But shit still happens in Species, even if it is shit.
Yeah.
It's something
like Forrest
actually
Whitaker
happens.
walking into a room that's covered in blood, going, something happened here.
No, something bad happened here
something
because
bad
there's a
happened
big
here.
fucking cocoon stuck in the side of a toilet on
Forrest.
on a train. Yeah, well done, Forrest. Yeah, you're worth all the money that the government's clearly paying you. Yeah, but at least Species, something fucking happens. In Contact, in theory, nothing happens because she drops through that big rubber ring. That big CGI ring comes out the other end less than 3 seconds later, and she has an epiphany talking to her dad on a beach. Which results in what precisely? Nothing.
Possibly the most disappointing, in fact, for me, the most disappointing scene in the film with the whole damn thing. But that's for another time.
Yes, when we rewatch that at some point.
Yes, indeed.
Okay, well, thank you very much for that, Brandy. Thank you very much, Dave. And if you want to hear more of Brandy and Dave, obviously you can catch them on the Inside Outcast, which is available on Geek Planet Online, iTunes, and all good bookshops or something. There's always that bit at the end of a thing. You can never find it in any shops. All good bookshops today. Anyway, so last piece of feedback, as ever. I didn't actually think we'd get him this week because of the whole internet issue thing, but like a good soldier, he's battled through.
There's no stopping him.
There is no stopping him. He's like the literary Terminator.
He is. That's twice we've said that about something to this evening.
Yeah, the Terminator.
The Terminator, yes.
Yeah, but unlike the mutant, which is the shitty half-assed Terminator.
Mupant.
Yeah, the Mubang, Mobo, which is the kind of half-assed, not quite bothered Terminator.
Maybe we should call this cast Traffic Island Earth.
Traffic Island Earth. Actually, yes, that'll do.
There you go.
Traffic Island Earth. Clytus, I'm bored. Anyway, no, we've done that film. Anyway, so off to the wonderful world of up north with with Jim Moon. of Hypnobob's fame, and you can find Hypnobob's on Geek Planet Online. Okay, not this week, but yes, online, Geek Planet Online, on hypnogoria.com, and loads of other places. And yes, go for it, Jim. Take it away.
Well then, This Island Earth. A veritable sci-fi classic. One of which I have very fond memories from seeing at a very young age, and being wowed by saucers, strange insectoid mutants, spooky Bermuda Triangle-esque green glows, lasers, meteorites, and blokes with massive slap heads, like those boffins in those old Tefal ads. It was great stuff, delivering everything you could possibly want from a science fiction film, apart from perhaps a good robot. But when you've got a Metalunan mutant, well, we can do without a shiny old nonce, despite what Anthony Daniels might claim. So then I was greatly looking forward to revisiting this fondly remembered piece of classic Golden Age sci-fi. And does it hold up? Well, yes, I think it does. Now, I can quite understand why it became a target for the likes of Mystery Science Theatre 3000, for many of its tropes seem very well worn, and a lot of the dialogue sounds very corny. But back when it came out, this was cutting-edge stuff. It was far more intelligent than the usual saucer invasion stories we were getting at the time. And that if it looks a bit threadbare and hackneyed now, the movie is a victim of its own legacy. For it's one of those seminal films that the world and its droid has been ripping off ever since it came out. Now I appreciate that to modern eyes, the story might seem unbearably slow, and tediously obvious in its big reveals. And indeed, the final end might seem somewhat anticlimactic. And indeed, as I'm sure has already been commented on, some of the science is, well, a little bit wonky. A planet turning into a sun? Really? I don't think so. But the thing about This Island Earth is, it's not the destination, it's the journey that matters. And in this case, it's a wonderfully vivid, technicolor voyage into the golden age imagination of science fiction. And while the plot may seem like a series of cliches to us now, what you have left is still a wonderful series of science fiction images, lovingly rendered in glorious colour. And even if you can't forgive the obvious nature of the plot and the often cheesy dialogue, well, you can have a good chuckle in between some of the startling images and set pieces. So, pretty much, it's a win-win for This Island Earth.
Well, okay. It would appear that we are most definitely in the minority. Okay, well, thank you very much for that, Jim. Do you think it's a win-win in respect of being sort of so bad, cheesy, it's good laugh material? Because
I got bored watching it, that's the thing.
Yeah.
I fell asleep. I had to rewatch it again to get through it.
Yeah. See, that's the thing. I mean, I kind of take Jim's point, and everyone said the same sort of thing. It's kind of a victim of its own success. It is iconic. The mutant for the 3.5 seconds it was actually on the screen, is fairly iconic. But really, it does drag. It really does drag. And I know, obviously, we're used to pacing and stuff, which is far more hyperkinetic editing. But I don't know. Just for me, I just think even if you compare it to films of the time, you look at Day the Earth Stood Still. You look at fucking War of the Worlds. You look at Forbidden Planet. You look at Invasion of the Body Snatchers, and you see films which just, I don't know. I just think even the cheesy films of those eras, like Invaders from Mars. Do you remember that?
Well, I know of it, but I don't.
With the
think I've
people
ever
being dragged into the
I know
into
the
the
one,
sand,
yes,
and they have
yes.
little things sticking at the back
That's
of their
right.
neck.
Yes, I remember that.
Great
now.
film, but it's a cheesy B movie. But to be quite honest, even that, as cheesy as it is, kind of rattles along at a fair old pace. I think, even films like, which I fucking hate, Brave New World, they got a little pace behind them. They got a little bit of sort of kinetic energy, a little bit of action and life to them.
Yeah.
And the plot feels like you actually progress, even if it is ridiculous. Plot progresses from point A to point B quite well. Whereas if you look at actually what happens in this Island Earth, going back to what we were saying right at the beginning, what actually happens? Nothing. He turns up, he builds a TV, and then sits around suspecting that the obvious aliens are aliens. But, okay, maybe that's a little cynical to look at and say, oh, well, maybe you should have known that. But even so, even when he does find out they're aliens, and even when he suspects that they're aliens and gets proof positive that they're aliens, he still sits there and goes, I'm not so sure I trust these guys. Really? What gave it away? The laser beams coming out of the 3D telly? Or was it the fact that they gave you technology that you couldn't replicate? Or is it the fact that they got big fucking foreheads? Or is it the spaceship? What the fuck? So, I don't know. I mean, for me, as much as I appreciate the comments and everyone obviously seeing it as, as a bit of cheesy sci-fi fun and a little bit of fun, it just, I don't personally feel like it held up. Not this time round.
No, nor do I.
Well, there you go. A degree to disagree with our audience. How about that? We've got them all arrested thanks to not safe for work intro. Now we've deafened them with a rose tinted specs, shit covered goggles, mash up down the stairs. And now we've disagreed with them. I think this is the shark jump episode, isn't it? It's clearly the shark jump episode.
I think this is probably the lowest we've ever been or felt. So
yeah, I know, it's fucking really energy levels at zero.
Yes.
But anyway, we're going to get through it. And now it's time to say thank you to everyone for listening. Thank you to all the feedbackers. And to tell you what our next film will be. So, obviously, I was still unsure as to whether or not this Island Earth was going to be a rose-tinted specs or shit-covered goggles. So I decided one way or the other we were going to end up with a rose-tinted specs. And so this one, obviously trying to keep it a little bit retro, trying to keep it going way back. And as was previously mentioned, Invasion of the Body Snatchers came up. And I thought, yeah, let's go for the really old one. Let's go for the Kevin McCarthy one.
Yeah.
But then I thought, actually, no. Let's go for the one that shit me up like a bastard when I first saw it, which is the Donald Sutherland 1970s version. So that will be our next Roasting Specs, the Invasion of the Body Snatchers, starring Veronica Cartwright, Jeff Goldblum, Leonard Nimoy, and of course Donald Sutherland. So that'll be our next film. We will be here next week to review it. Hopefully a little bit more awake. One of us will have to have a shot in the arm, or maybe we should have some Red Bull or something floating about. I
think so, yeah.
Jesus. Maybe we won't do an intro that takes us 3/4 of a day. So if you have any feedback for the Invasion of the Body Snatchers first remake, please send it in to blackdog@geekplanetonline.com. Also, if you do have problems sending it through to that email address, because obviously it's not Geek Planet's problem, it tends to be a bit of a kind of fluttering about of one-on-one's email system. I do now have a second email address you can send it to.
Read it out.
Which is feedback@blackdogpodcast.com.
Wow, we've actually got one with the word feedback in the title.
blackdogpodcast.com.
blackdogpodcast.com.
So, yes, I paid almost all of £4 for that domain.
Here's 4 of your Earth pounds,
yes.
young man.
So, obviously, stick to the main one, but if you do find you have problems, send it to that other one. So, blackdog@geekplanetonline.com or feedback@blackdogpodcast.com. Right. So, we shall see you all next week for Invasion of the Body Snatchers. Darren, thank you very much for barely staying awake.
No problem.
At the end. And we shall see you soon. And that's it. Tatty, bye.
Bye.
There's a voice that keeps on calling me. Down the road, it's where I'll always be. Every stop I make a new friend. Can't stay for long, just turn around and I'm gone again. Maybe tomorrow I'll wanna settle down. Until tomorrow, I'll just keep moving on.
Get out of the booth, Jack.
No, I like it in here.